name is Ryan Cam, and welcome back to the 1999 Project. And folks, this week we've got two actual stone cold classics. Like it's going to be a pretty short video for this week's installment, but it consists of reviews of 10 Things I Hate About You and The Matrix. They came out the same weekend. I wish I could have been not 1.5 years old and gone to do a double feature because that would have just been epic. But let's get it out of the way. Last week it was all veggies. Now it is all dessert. It is all cookie dough ice cream, y'all. Let's talk about 10 things I hate about you.
Never been taken completely by surprise.
You're not as vile as I thought you were.
10 things I hate about you.
Which 10 Things I Hate About You was directed by Gil Younger. I hope I'm saying his name right because it's spelled Junger, and I don't think it's pronounced Junger. But the movie starred Heath Ledger, rest in peace, Julia Stiles, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt, among others. And this is a sort of kind of interpretation of William Shakespeare's play, The Taming of the Shrew. It tells the story of a boy named Cameron, played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He instantly falls in love with a girl at his school named Bianca. The only problem is that Bianca is forbidden to date, unless her impossible sister named Kat, played by Julia Stiles, is dating as well. And so in order to get the wheels in motion, Cameron enlists Patrick, played by Heath Ledger, to woo Miss Kat. And, well, romance ensues from there. I had heard a lot of good things about 10 Things I Hate About You, and I had always looked for an excuse to finally watch it, and, well, this project gave me an excuse to watch it. And I am kicking myself that it took me so long to watch this because it is fantastic. It's not just a good romance, but it's easily the best high school movie I've covered so far in this project, and I've covered like at least 3 or 4 of them. The first 10 minutes of this movie is better than Jawbreaker and She's All That in like the first 10 minutes. It's better than those two movies combined. It will always perpetually weird me out to see Heath Ledger in anything else besides The Dark Knight, and it's not like a knock. It just, the dude completely just broke any other performance of the Joker. Like, he became like the definitive version. He did so well that it's become lionized and forever put on the pedestal of great performances. Superhero movie, art, otherwise. So when I see him in something like this, just a normal dude, I'm just like, this is screwing with me a little bit. But seriously though, Ledger is very good in the movie. There was a part of me that was like, is he supposed to be American? Like, why is his Australian accent coming through? And it turns out his character lived in Australia for 10 years. So they played into it, which I did appreciate. And he's one of those like guys who is very like sure of himself, let's just say, but they don't do the mistake of making him unlikable. He is a guy who you would definitely want to be friends with. Styles is also great in the movie. Her entrance in this movie is she drives up in her car to this stop sign with the song Bad Reputation by Joan Jett and the Blackhearts playing. This movie gets me. One of her early scenes, she discusses this whole assignment thing and like breaks it down, but then like she talks about oppression, and then the teacher in the class, who is a black man, capitalizes on that, is like, well, let's take that up with the principal, and while we're there, let's talk about how they don't buy any books by black authors. And then these two guys in the back, unironically wearing, I want to assume are these like Rastafarian hats. I don't know what they're called, and they have unironically dreadlocks, say, yeah, man, it's so good, man. And the dude's like, shut up, that being the teacher. That made me laugh. I'm not gonna lie. And it just popped me. It did. Joseph Gordon-Levitt is, of course, great. But really, the main focus of the movie is Ledger and Stiles, and they both were just really good. The movie's funny, like I said, not just for that scene, but there are literally like smaller moments that just they're just gonna stick with me. Like for example, the school's principal is played by Allison Janney of like Mom sitcom fame and among other things. But she is a principal. Her name is Miss Perky. That is her name. And when she is dealing with students, she's on her laptop and she is typing out erotic fiction. And the dialogue they use, I was saying to myself, oh my God, this woman invented book talk. Kat's dad is just the way he delivers his lines is just so funny. It just there's so many little and big things to love in this movie. I'm going to give it an amazing grade. I am definitely going to rewatch this one quite a few times. And it just really shows to the talent of not just Julia Stiles, but also Heath Ledger. Because the dude can go like what he did in his later years with Joker and in The Dark Knight and Brokeback Mountain and other things. And then to go from that to something like 10 Things I Hate About You, it is like the complete opposite in terms of spectrum, in terms of what these characters are and what they're doing in these movies. It's just it's just that like I miss that dude. Like he was just great. But if you haven't seen 10 Things I Hate About You, do yourself a favor and watch it. It is unironically really good. But now let us close out the month of March by taking a look at a little movie you may have heard of called The Matrix. You ever hear of it?
Unfortunately, no one can be told what the Matrix is. You have to see it for yourself.
The Matrix is a movie that really does not need an introduction. If you have clicked on this video and you are watching it, you know what The Matrix is. Keanu Reeves, Kristen Scott Thomas, Lawrence Fishburne, Hugo Weaving, Joe Pantoliano. It's about what is real, how do you define real, red pill, blue pill, Alice going down the rabbit hole, the whole nine. You know all about it. Hell, I've even reviewed it on this channel in the road to the unfortunate Matrix Resurrections. But thinking about thinking about the Matrix, and I'm going to keep this short. It's getting an amazing grade. It's The Matrix for crying out loud. This is a movie that really set up the Wachowski siblings to be something, and they just did nothing with it. There were some movies of theirs that were okay, but they never really got this magic back again, and they tried. Three times over they tried, and while I don't hate the Matrix sequels as much as some people, I think Reloaded has some moments of brilliance. Revolutions is just okay, but then Resurrections has a first half that is near unwatchable and a second half that is just okay. But then after The Matrix, you got movies like Jupiter Ascending, which is so bad it's amazing. And then you got Cloud Atlas, which I haven't seen in a while, but I just remember people talking in tongues a lot. The Matrix is just one of those movies that just is the sun, the moon, the planets, and all the stars coming together into perfect alignment to just create the perfect action, sci-fi, like kung fu, call it whatever you want, whatever genre you want to fit it in, it fits. It's one of those movies that we'll just never see the like of again. But as I leave this video, I just want to ask you all, what is your experience with watching The Matrix for the first time? I want to know. So let me know in the comments. I'd love to read what you have to say. And this might be a pretty short video, but it was only 2 movies this weekend and they were 2 absolute bangers. So long story short, watch both. But as we kick off the month of April, we'll be going back to the standard 3-movie format again by talking about Cookie's Fortune, The Out-of-Towners, and A Walk on the Moon. But my name is Ryan Cam, and I'll see you in the next one.